Hey there, Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev here. I was interested the other day when I received an envelope in the mail that was kind of a thick packet, and it came from Massachusetts. And it was interesting to me to discover inside, because I had briefly forgotten, that someone who had visited Bloom a few weeks ago promised me that she would send me information on her church back in Massachusetts. And it's a church affiliated with the UCC, excuse me, but way predates the UCC because it was started here in the United States or in the colonies in 1717. And it was the West Parish of Barnstable. Now, there's a group of people meeting in a church building that is 400 years old, and this year they are celebrating their 400th anniversary and have put together a brochure for that and are of course having a series of events related to that throughout their time. Can you imagine that? Be 400 years old. Now, I'm not going to tell you the whole history about it, but go to the internet, the Google machine, and input West Parish of Barnstable in Massachusetts, and you'll see that there's a long and storied history of a situation where there were people that were basically doing things on their own. Truly, they were in alignment with our little motto that says God wants you to think for yourself and live for others. Well, they were certainly thinking for themselves. That was quite a connection there. To have that connection of little young Bloom back to a church that was 400 years old. Well, we also have another connection that we made this past year in relating to the pastor of Middle Church in New York upon the passing of John Poole, who was a member. John and Jimmy Daly were members of the Middle Church in New York, Middle Collegiate Church, and they remained that as they were associate members here in Bloom. Middle Church in New York is one of the collegiate churches that was started in 1628, and it is considered to be the oldest running Protestant denomination. The five collegiate churches, or starting with that organization, the oldest, longest continuous running Protestant denomination or Protestant church on American soil. And we had the connection with that church through John Poole and through James Daly. These kinds of things are interesting to me. The fact that what will happen is people coming from the background of a big church like that, like Middle Church in New York, a very old church, both of them, Middle Church and West Parish, and coming and being a part of Bloom, a church that started in 2002. What would it be like to think in terms of 2402 when Bloom celebrates Bloom's 400th anniversary? The thing for us to think about is, what would we have accomplished in that amount of time? How would we have been enmeshed in our faith, in our community, and as a result of that, how would we have been living out our mission as we define it in our community, and basically doing good as a United Church of Christ? Excuse me. That's something to think about. Now, some folks maybe hear me from time to time talk about the fact that I think in terms of a 100-year plan. So we've been 2002, we've got 14 years going, we've got 86 years left on a 100-year plan. What are we going to be doing at that time? I hope we are a vital presence here in Palm Springs and the surrounding area, and known as people who are authentic in what they do. What that means is that people like you and me are basically going to have to carry on that heritage in our day-to-day lives, starting right now. We've been at it for 14 years. There are people who have come, and as we know from our memorials along the way, there are people who have left us. There are people that have moved away and gone to different places. But we who are here right now are the embodiment of the heritage of this church that would be the basis for somebody looking back upon this time if they were looking back 400 years from now. I think that they would see that we're trying to do good, we're trying to live faithfully, we're trusting in God for the continuance of this church, and we're trying to do what we can to prepare this congregation for future people as well as serve the people who are here with us now. That's what you think about when you see at least that's what I think about when I hear from people that are in churches that are 400 years old or almost 500 years old. It's like, well, what will that mean for us someday? Feel free to share your thoughts with me along the way about that sort of thing and what you think about Bloom and Bloom's future. You could do that even this Sunday when you come and be with us on this Mother's Day when Linda Toland and Jean Dunham are going to bring a Mother's Day commentary, and we'll pray for mothers everywhere and throughout time. We hope you join us this Sunday, and also plan to be with us the Sunday after when we have our spring congregation meeting after worship. So if you can't be with us in person, we hope you'll continue to keep us in your prayers and be with us in spirit. Until then, we'll see you later.